Welcome to the Town of Lexington's Planning Commission meeting. This is our normal monthly meeting. It's being held at 8 a.m. August 22nd, 2018. The meeting is being broadcast live and will be aired several times throughout the week on the town's informational channel. I am Keith Frost, your Planning Commission Chair, and I will ask the other members to please introduce themselves.
Good morning, I'm Frank Berry.
Good morning, Sammy Hendricks.
Good morning, Jarrett Harrelson.
Good morning, I'm Brian Amy.
Good morning, I'm Jeannie Michaels.
Good morning, I'm Jamie Fight.
Good morning, Roscoe Kaufman.
Good morning, John Bartlett.
Good morning, I'm Brooke Poole, Town Administrator.
Good morning, I'm Kathy Manus, Town Council Member.
Good morning, I'm Brad Cunningham, Town Attorney.
I'm Deb Walker, Parks and Sanitation. Randy Edwards, Transportation Director.
Good morning, I'm John Hanson, Director of Planning.
I'm Karen Hanna, the Assistant Municipal Clerk.
All right, at this time, I'll ask Commissioner Berry if he will lead us in invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the upcoming changing of the season. Be with the kids as they go back to school and the teachers and resource officers as they protect all of them and keep them safe throughout the school year. Be with those who protect our country, keep them safe, and be with this body as we plan the future of the town. In your name we pray, amen.
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 Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we'll call the meeting to order. There are no deletions to our agenda this morning, so we'll start with the approval of the meeting minutes from July 18th, 2018. You should have a copy of those in your packet.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I will be
Yes, sir.
recusing myself from the first item on the agenda.
All right. First item on our agenda this morning is bonded plat approval for Phase 3A and Bar Lake subdivision. John?
Good morning. The developers of Bar Lake are requesting bonded plat approval for Phase 3A. This phase consists of 52 lots on 25.9 acres. Sketch plan approval was granted for all of Phase 3 last September with the stipulation that updates be provided on the dam reconstruction and second entrance installation when the project is ready to begin bonded plat approval. So they are here to give you an update.
All right. Thank you very much.
If you'd like to hear.
Yes, I would love to hear a brief update on where we're at with those two items. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm John Stevenson, one of the developers for Bar Lake. Just to give you a brief update, the second entrance onto Bar Road opened yesterday approximately 10 o'clock in the morning, so we were trying to make it in time for school. We were a couple hours late, but it is open today. We're approved on the dam construction. We've started the dam construction. We've contracted with Linman Construction out of Sumter and CNA Construction out of Sumter, and they expect the approximate construction time to be 9 months given good weather. So we expect to finish that up early next summer given good weather.
Okay.
And fill the dam back up. So we're excited about that, and that's the update, and I'll answer any questions you might have.
All right. Any questions of Mr. Stevenson? All right. Thank you very much. John?
You didn't mention the amenity area.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amenity area will start, is again, given 9 to 10 months construction time for the dam. If you'll go out there now, that is the staging area and will be the staging area for the dam construction. We start the amenity area immediately following the completion of the dam.
All right. Any idea how long it'll take you once you're once you've completed the dam construction, any idea how long the amenity, the pool?
I expect it would open up the next spring. Obviously, we're building it through the summer and have the pool ready for the next spring.
Okay.
For the, I guess, the 2020 season.
All right.
So you said the construction has started?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a complicated construction, given that we have a lot of water flowing, so we have to start at one end. The concrete crew has to come in, complete the spillways on one side, then we'll block that up, let it go through the spillways, and work on the spillways on the other side. So it's a pretty complex construction process.
All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. All right. Hearing no questions, do we have a motion?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion. A second?
Second.
All right, thank you very much. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, item 2 is annexation of property at 221 Corley Mill Road. John?
If we could, just for a second, go back to item 1, just for clarification, how do you want to proceed with future bonded plat phases for this phase 3? Do we want to bring them back when they're ready for, all of them back when they're ready for final plat? How do you all want to proceed with that?
I'll be honest, I mean, at this point, I mean, I think they've obtained the permits. They're in the process of working, I mean, I think as quickly as they can, and whether it's going to be weather dependent. I guess my suggestion, and if others have opinions, that's fine, is that when they're ready for final plat, then maybe we come back at that point, but I don't know that we necessarily need to come back at every phase. So, I mean, if that's satisfactory for the commission.
Just needed my marching orders.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, item 2 on your agenda, Steve and Sheila Hall own 7.6 acres on 2 parcels located at 221 Corley Mill Road. They have petitioned to annex the property. Corley Mill House and Gardens is located on the site. Properties in town near these are zoned limited commercial, and Corley Mill Road is classified as a collector road. Due to the surrounding conditions and the use of the property, the same zoning and road classifications are recommended for these parcels.
All right, any questions?
Motion approved,
We
stated.
have a motion. Second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And that is unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, next item on our agenda is we're going to move to announcements from Councilmember Kathy Manis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and as always, thank you, Planning Commission, for everything you do. Hope you all had a good summer. School started, so we got to be sure to be careful watching for those young people as they're going back to school and their teachers. So a couple of things going on. Movies in the Park for August 2018. The town of Lexington and the Lexington County Recreation and Aging Commission are hosting Movies in the Park at the Ice House Amphitheater. It is free. The movies begin at 8:30 p.m. and the next one is Friday, August 24th. It's The Darkest Hour. It's a PG-13 movie. I was down this past Friday when we had Coco, a lot of children down there. And then back earlier in the summer, we hosted The Greatest Showman. Had about 800 people in the park watching The Greatest Showman. So hope you have the opportunity to come out on Friday, August 24th. Our farmers market's still going on. If you haven't had a chance to go there, you really need to. I went this past week and Mr. Jumper had some good watermelon. There was a farm there that had chicken. That's what we have for supper on Saturday. So if you get the opportunity, please go and visit our farmers market. It runs each Saturday from August to September from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Lexington Square Park. So if you get an opportunity, please go visit the farmers and the other vendors at the farmers market. Our Lexington Live concert series is getting ready to start back, and I know in the past some of you have been there, and I'm looking forward to this. It's the Fall Lexington Live concert. Starts off Thursday, September the 6th from 6:30 to 9:30 with the Fantastic Shakers. Some of you may remember them. I used to be a Fantastic Shaker junkie, and wherever they played, I went. So I am looking forward to that one. It's the 5-week series that will run on Thursday evenings. On September 13th, we'll have the Men of Distinction. September 20th, Fantasy, October 4th, Finesse, and then we'll finish up with October the 11th with the Root Doctors. So you can find all that information on the Ice House Amphitheater at www.icehouseamphitheater.com. So I hope to see you there. Britt is going to do a presentation that we saw at our council meeting on Monday night. It's very exciting about this traffic moving, and we'll be continuing to work on that. So again, thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. All right. Town Administrator Britt Poole.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, I appreciate your time today. We've compressed about 8 hours of footage of the one-way pair system in action, and I'd like to show that to you today. So it won't take any more than 8 hours. This is about a 7-8 minute presentation. All the footage I need to point out has been sped up to about 32 times normal, and that allows you to see the groupings of the vehicles, or platoons as they're called technically. So here's a layout of the system. You probably all saw that, of the one-way pair, and some drone footage of the system in action, just some pretty shots to get things started. And we're going to start with looking at the two models that were the AM model. The first one is we modeled what was there using the traffic software before any construction was done. And what I'd like to point out, in your top left corner is Main Street, and you will see the little line of ant cars piling up, well, almost a Radius Church. And I think we all experienced that, right? I mean, that's what the system functioned like. And you'll see it go through a cycle or two, and most of those cars that are in that line don't make it through the intersection, so they get caught at multiple red lights. And then in a moment here, we're going to move to the model of what was actually built. So this is the model that we use to determine if what was being built was going to be of value to the town. And so you'll notice in this one, I'll point you to the same spot, that spot on Main Street, top left-hand side. You'll see the car. There, of course, are a little bit of backup as cars get caught at the light, but they really don't go much further than the little rectangle that's on the top side of that, which is Libby's Restaurant, or right where the hill starts going up towards Flight Deck. And so now what we're going to look at is the actual intersections. Again, this is 32 times regular speed, so we've compressed an hour and just a few, and really almost less than a minute here per slide, and we'll blow up a number of these individually so we can look at them in detail. This is just to give you a picture, give you an idea of what intersections we're looking at. So the first one is at Aladea's, looking back up the hill, and I want you to notice how this matches with the model. So those cars that are on the top of the screen, it's not that there's no cars at the signal, but they basically stop right about the curb, right about the raise in the hill, and then they clear out at each cycle of the traffic signal. See, they've cleared out again, and then they'll stop, and they will back up, back to about that point that was predicted, and then clear out. So this is AM peak traffic we're looking at now. Let's see, here's the next one, which is at the intersection with the two courthouses. Can't see quite as well here because of the trees, but what I want you to notice is how few vehicles get caught mid-block. So that's 2. I think in the next one there might be 3. 1. Again, this is AM peak. 2 vehicles. So it's clearing out that intersection every single time. And here, this is, in my opinion, the most interesting. Of course, the project was done to benefit Main Street, but all the additional capacity that was created by the one-way pair on Lake and Church this looks like this no matter what time you look, AM peak, PM peak, afternoon. Every single time 6 fills up and clears out, it doesn't even get to the bend in the road in between the county admin building and the courthouse. And again, it looks like that every time. So now we're going to go to a view in the PM peak. Now, all this footage comes from August the 9th, which was the day after Adaptive went live over there. And so we're going to have some different angles here because obviously we're more concerned with different views in the PM than we are in the AM. Traffic's moving in a different direction. I believe it starts with Church Street, which is you'll see a similar action as you saw on South Lake, and it'll blow up here in just a second. But what I want you to notice is as the platoons move through from Columbia Avenue, you can kind of see them, they'll start coming over the hill as the next group comes through, and then it'll clear out and catch that group. And then we'll see that happen again. And then I believe one more time, you see it catches the group, and then as soon as the cars start coming over the hill from Columbia Avenue, green light and clears out those that were waiting. Every single time. So now we're looking on Main Street. This is westbound traffic, so we're looking back towards West Columbia in this picture. And this probably isn't the best of views. It doesn't see as far, but it does illustrate again when a lot of green light time for Main Street. When it does stop, you do of course get some buildup and then it clears out. This is a much better view. Now, you don't have much storage here, so that tail is kind of like it is on the AM traffic going the opposite direction. It builds up, but it's clearing out every single time. So the one-way pair system gave us, depending on when you're looking at, sometimes it's 45% more green time on Main Street, and in some cases it's as much as 60%, 62% more green time on Main Street. Depends on the time of day and what the needs are for the side streets. So without getting into all the technical details, I'm not a traffic engineer, I think, what do they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. I think you can watch this video and understand very clearly how well that system is working. That was, like I said, about 8 hours of video compressed that we saw very quickly, but it really helps illustrate the point of what the purpose of the system was and what benefits that we're seeing directly. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them, but that concludes the presentation.
When is the next phase of the Adaptive starting?
So that should go to bid in January. That DOT actually bids and manages that project for us, even though the money came from the COG and the county, but they are DOT signals that they have authorized us to take over, but they manage the install of that. So they're telling us it's going to go to bid in January.
And can you clarify where phase 2 was going?
Well, it's basically everywhere where you don't see mast arms now. That there's a little fudge in there because we do have some out-of-town intersections that have adaptive that don't have mast arms. But essentially, as you think about in-town signals, a lot of it is along the 378 corridor in front of Walmart, Publix, those Lowe's, those places, the Whiteford intersection. So all those places, and the reason there's a phase 1, phase 2 is all those places where adaptive isn't are places we needed to acquire right away. In many cases it was just a little bit, but that can be a very long process. So we went ahead and did phase 1, got the results that we've gotten that you just seen, and that allowed us to go ahead and move forward. Whereas phase 2 was going to be delayed because we had to acquire that right away, but that's all been done now and it's ready to go to bid right after Christmas.
That's going all the way through West Columbia?
Well, so there's a third phase, and that's the phase that extends into West Columbia. That's a project that we're working with Lexington Medical Center on, and City of West Columbia is getting some authorizations from DOT to allow us to be able to do that, and that's in progress right now. I don't know exactly when that phase will start, but that will, I believe, and I think Randy's here. Randy, where's our last signal on the 378? Lock Court. So we go all the way out to Lock Court now, and it will extend to Hummingbird, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll go almost to 12th Street with that third phase, which obviously, none of that is in town, and a fair amount of it's in West Columbia, but the way the system works is you get efficiencies by how large the system is. The more signals that can talk to each other and say, this is what's coming towards you, the more efficiencies the system can build. So we want to grow it as big around the perimeter as the town. It helps wherever you put it, number one, so it's going to help that intersection where you put it, but it also helps the whole of the system within the town as we grow it. I would point out also there's a second, the next big project, not adaptive, not that adaptive isn't big and important, but the next big construction project is planned to go to bid in January, and that's the continued widening of 6. So that will carry the one-way pair 2 lanes all the way to Columbia Avenue, so that you won't have that tightening up down to 1 lane in front of the elementary school. So that goes to bid in January. It's expected to take about a year for construction, and also includes the move up from Dreer Street from the Columbia Avenue 378 signal to Azalea. So it will move Dreer Street so it's not part of that much bigger intersection, doesn't have to be served, and will make that intersection a lot more efficient. And then there's another phase on that will come after that project is complete, which is some work at the 6 and 378 light at Kentucky Fried Chicken near Herndon Chevrolet, which will also be adding some additional lanes in there and making some big improvements to that intersection. So hopefully we will have cleared that entire bottleneck out as you're coming out of downtown or coming out of West Lexington, really towards East Lexington.
All right, any other questions? Yeah, there's a traffic update. Well, I do want to thank Brett, you and staff and council for having the foresight to and the initiative to do something. We hear about traffic every day, and as somebody that drives through Main Street twice a day, it is a drastic improvement. You're still going to wait, but you're going to wait no matter where you go in and around the Columbia area. But you can get through it so much quicker, and I appreciate it. And if there is any way you guys can solve the traffic problem near Lexington Medical Center, kudos, and you all deserve a huge raise because that is absolutely horrible. So, but thank you again to staff and council. That's been a tremendous improvement, and anybody that drives through there, I think, will recognize that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and I must say a lot of the credit should go to council for stepping out, being willing to use the hospitality tax and show that we can get something done with that. And it took a lot of political courage to do that, so they deserve a lot of praise.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, so we've had our traffic update. Is there anything else for the good of the commission? Anyone? And I do want to recognize our newest council member, Todd Lyle, is here with us this morning, sitting in the back. We appreciate you being here with us. So, anything else? All right, hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, and we are adjourned. And again, I want to thank you for watching the Town of Lexington Planning Commission in action. Again, this meeting was held 8 a.m. April 22nd, 2018, and will be aired several times throughout the week. On behalf of the Planning Commission, I wish you a good day.